theories on TikTok sent over by you guys. The link is in the description if you guys want to send over your videos. If you have any videos that you want to add to the channel for us to react to. I do want to say, I know y'all see it's not a new edition. These old. I had these for a long time. My people that watched me back then know, but they go with the aesthetic of the hoops. But we're about to get into this video. Again, these are just theories. There shouldn't be no arguments, no negativity in the comment section, because at the end of the day, they're just theories. Hey y'all, my merch is now available. We have Discipline Over Desire, Blessed Department, Super Faith, Burnt Offering, and so much more in so many colorways. Please make sure to go check out the website www.shopperkyy.com. Link is in the description. Please go check it out. Thank you guys for all your love and support. I truly appreciate it. Shout out to Rick. He's the first shout out of the day. He sent this video over.
And then dump the remains down the drain to be recycled into the municipal water supply. And so people are drinking it, they're showering in it, they're doing their laundry in it. And this is happening in most states across the country. In most major cities, they're recycling dead people and feeding it to the living. What does that mean exactly? And they're grinding up the bones into powder. They call this calcium phosphate, which is going to be used for food processing, undoubtedly. Maybe in your vitamins. And so what are the implications when people start eating dead people, like cannibalism? Is there going to be kuru running around out there? Mad cow disease?
Zombie apocalypse.
What about in a spiritual sense?
I hope that's not happening.
One day, when he posted something strange after having a creepy encounter within the isolated desert with something unknown, something that tried to lure him over.
Just coming in from planting those trail cameras. There's vultures everywhere. It's odd.
What do you mean?
Ever since then, it would seem that whatever was out that day set its sights on luring this man over, perhaps to meet his demise. Late one evening, on another day, he experienced the same thing.
Just saw.
He needs to get away from that
almost
area.
Like a coyote run right across here. That sounded like a kid. Or a goat.
What?
Something that sounds like a goat or a little boy can be heard off in the distance. And after enhancing the brightness as he zooms in, it looks like something can be seen on the ground. But it's too hard to make out what it is.
I'm
fully
scared.
Convinced he is being watched by a Skinwalker or some other type of entity.
I know it's not the same dude.
He decides to get a night vision camera and begins thoroughly searching the desert.
So who the problem?
In hopes of finding whatever is lurking around.
I could care less.
Most of the time, it seems that he is onto something, but whatever it is, it's as if it's close, yet too far at the same time.
His voice making the video much scarier than what it is.
He does capture something one night. Something completely black stands out when he shines the light from his torch.
I didn't even see that.
Many viewers were quick to say it's a crouched shadow figure, while others thought it was an animal or some object. But wisely, he didn't dare risk getting closer to it.
Oh, this was on live.
He decided to do a live stream in which the voices could also be heard.
hear that voice. The horse is looking over there. What is it, Gypsy?
Put it down a Claymore.
See, they are freaking out. They're hearing it.
We can see both horses react, staring off into the direction of the sound. Some people say the further away it sounds, the closer it actually is. On another night, while using the night vision camera, he captures some movement.
He like being dangerous.
This, along with what looks like a shadow figure or some creature off in the distance, is the closest he has come to capturing whatever is following him. I've seen cases like this before, with people hearing voices at different distances, and in some cases their own voice is mimicked and used against them. But just what do you think? Is this a real Skinwalker or something unknown?
This video is from DeAndre.
If he was trying to give you the plague. Dr. William Gates is now the individual largest owner of farmland in the United States of America. This is his company right here, and everyone needs to avoid it.
Many countries are saying, in order to avoid this consequence of the imposition of sanctions by the United States, on the basis that you are using their currency, in order to avoid the consequences of sanctions that arise from that, let's walk away from the dollar. When Russia trades with China, there's no reason why they must trade US dollars to exchange. None. And so that even India is saying the same thing. So globally, there's a discussion that is taking place to say we must find alternative means of trading among ourselves and not subject ourselves to the situation where there's one currency in the world, which becomes a global reserve currency. Because it gives the country that is the issuer of the money, as the United States, it gives it the power to impose its will. It is better that we have a diversified financial system rather than to be so tied up with one currency.
You need to say goodbye to Venmo, Zelle, PayPal, and Cash App because
use all
FedNow
those.
is coming and you don't have a choice. FedNow is a payment service by the government coming out in July that your bank will have to sign up for, which is the first step to make the dollar digital. Now, how does this work? Well, if you buy something on Amazon, your money won't go directly to Amazon anymore. It will first go through the Fed's account and then go to Amazon. This means the government will know everything you use your money for, and if they want to, they can reject any purchase you make, take money out whenever, and decide what you can and can't spend your money on. Yes, it will be faster for payments to settle, easier to get stimulus, and lowers costs that you have to pay to your banks, but your privacy is gone. So is it truly worth it? And guess what? You don't even have a choice to participate or not. Our banks are the ones who will decide.
Because the banks run the world.
Have you seen this ingredient in a food product you've consumed before? Citric acid. You're probably thinking, yeah, that comes from limes or lemons, right? Wait until you hear this. Many years ago, citric acid did come from lemons, and it was used as a bit of a preservative. And now, citric acid is a major industrial chemical produced at 2 million tons a year worldwide. Its main source is not from fruit, but from the fermentation of crude sugars, e.g. molasses and cornstarch, by the mold Asparagus niger. Let's dig into this a little deeper. So they take this mold strain, feed it sugars from corn. I don't think organic corn, more likely GMO corn. And then they take the byproduct of that, citric acid, and add it to millions of food-like products. So citric acid is not from fruit. It's a byproduct of mold that was fed GMO corn syrup. Does this ingredient benefit us, or does it weaken us? You decide.
Can't eat nothing. Shout out to Retro.
The world is scripted. Wake up, Simpsons.
Which way did Mason go? That must be him over there.
The search in the Atlantic Ocean in the same area that the Titanic sunk 111 years ago. In that disaster, more than 1,500 people were killed. Today, the Coast Guard launched a rescue mission 13,000 feet below the surface for a submarine carrying 5 people. It went missing during an expedition to the Titanic.
A submarine carrying tourists to see the wreckage of the Titanic has gone missing. The clock is ticking if there is any hope of finding the Titanic submersible.
This particular submersible is advertised to have 96 hours of survival time.
Stockton Rush, I'm the CEO and founder of OceanGate. Let's take a look at Titan.
This video was taken just moments before
A completely new approach to the sub design, and it's all run with this game controller and these touch
Game
screens.
controller.
So if you want to go forward, you press forward. If you want to go back, you go back. Turn left, turn right, go down, go up. And it's Bluetooth, so I can hand it to anybody. And it's meant for a 16-year-old to throw it around, and super durable. We keep a couple of spares on board.
You guys know that I am months behind on content. So you guys sent this out when this was missing, as you guys can see, because they didn't give the update. Everybody that was on that is gone, and for those that kind of been living under a rock. What I want to say that was brought to my attention was, you gotta really think, it was $250,000 a head, right, to go see a boat underwater. At this point, the people with money just be spending money on anything, because I'm not spending a mortgage to go see a boat, or whatever you want to call it, underwater. That's what the movie was for. But one thing I do want to point out, because ever since I got put onto it, I can't unsee it. Did y'all know about the submarine? Meaning, did you guys know about it before, or did you guys know about it when it went missing? What I'm trying to say is that if the boat would have, or the submarine would have never went missing, would you have known that they were charging $250,000 for you to go with other people that wanted to pay that ridiculous price to go see a boat underwater? If the submarine never went missing, would you know that that was a thing? Because the thing is, they didn't put it. What if I wanted to pay? What if I wanted to pay $250,000 to go see that? How come I didn't know about it? So you got to think. I'm trying to say something without saying something. How did those people know about it? How come I didn't know about it? How come you didn't know about it? Where was this announced? Was it on the Yahoo front page? Because I didn't see it. I didn't know nothing about what if I just wanted to just wild out and spend $250,000 to go see the Titanic underwater? How come I didn't know about it? But how come these particular individuals knew about it, but we didn't? And we only knew about it because it went missing. Think.
Have you heard the theory of the Titanic and
Nope.
the Federal Reserve? Well,
Yep.
here it goes. So on the Titanic, there's some extremely wealthy passengers like J.P. Morgan.
We heard about this.
John Rockefeller, and the Rothschilds. But then you have Jacob Astor, the
Mhm.
wealthiest man in the world at the time. He owned about 40% of all mortgages, and he was a Freemason who was very opposed to the idea of a central bank. Whereas J.P. Morgan, Rockefeller, and Rothschild strongly supported the idea of a central bank. So Jacob Astor was the only one standing in the way of a central bank at the time.
Not Game of
Coincidentally,
Thrones.
the morning the Titanic was supposed to set sail, J.P. Morgan, some Rothschilds, and others quietly exited the ship without any explanation. 5 days later, Titanic slams into an iceberg and it starts to sink. And even though Jacob Astor is the wealthiest man in the world, he still can't find a seat in a lifeboat, and he ends up sinking with the ship. Shortly after, these guys become the wealthiest men in the world, and without Jacob Astor standing in their way, the next year in 1913, on Jekyll Island in Georgia, the Federal Reserve Act was signed into law, paving the way to print money out of thin air and completely control our monetary system. Was this a coincidence?
No.
Or a conspiracy?
Because we don't believe in coincidence. Everything happens for a reason. Second time I heard about that. And then, well, really 3, but the third one was about the Malaysia airline that went missing. Mr. Gregory really broke that down. You guys got to go watch the video that I reacted to a while back of him talking about the patents and who was on the... Just go watch the video.
The model of going to school to learn is relatively new. Before 1900, most children learned at home and out in the real world. In 1837, the state of Massachusetts formed the first state board of education, with Horace Mann as its secretary. Mann believed that everyone was entitled to the same content in education. Returning from a research trip to Germany in 1848, Mann lobbied heavily to have the Prussian model adopted. He quickly set about establishing a statewide system of common schools, staffed by professionally trained teachers. His ideas quickly gained momentum, And by 1852, Massachusetts passed a compulsory attendance law. Man also believed that school could become a great equalizer, and values such as obedience to authority, promptness in attendance, and organizing time according to bell ringing would help students prepare for future employment in an industrial age.
And the whole
Promptness in attendance and organizing time according to bell ringing would help students prepare for future employment in an industrial age.
And the whole purpose of it is to create a docile factory military workforce. The whole purpose is to subordinate children and get them in that mindset of being subordinated so they grow up to be subordinated adults.
This is the poorest class I've had.
Prussian schooling had been out to destroy the imagination. In every public library worth its salt in the United States and in every college library, you will find a collection of essays by a Prussian philosopher, Johann Fichte. Fichte said we have to set up a system of universal forced schooling in which we destroy the imagination. Bells, ordered lessons, constant testing, rankings.
The entire system is designed to regiment a large group of people and to get them all to do the exact same thing.
By 1900, 34 states had compulsory schooling laws. Half the nation's children attended one-room schools. And by 1918, every state required students to complete elementary school.
The reality is they want children to take their place in society, be cogs, and keep this system going. So you're going to school to take your place.
You're a part of the system.
With your attitude. You don't pay enough attention in class.
Do you see how they put the information right there out in front of you? And it's still going to be people that's defending this school system. They have been training us since the age of 4, if not maybe younger, to be programmed into this military mindset of basically working for somebody else. Losing your imagination, throwing that out. Your creativity, throwing that out. Your own entrepreneurship, throwing that out. To fall in line with the system.
Well, we were all distracted by a submarine this week. BlackRock and JP Morgan were busy buying out Ukraine. Fortunately, our man Timothy James was keeping his eyes open. And his wise ass had the idea to say, what are we being distracted from right now?
Well, everyone's distracted. I was like, what has BlackRock and the other big banks been doing this entire week while no one's looking? BlackRock and JP Morgan helped set up Ukraine.
When I see a source or I see some information, I just go look it up for myself too. Because it's 2023 and we should all be doing our own research. And it was pretty easy to find the first article that Timothy was referencing, and his analysis seems pretty spot on. Good thing we got reputable organizations like BlackRock and JP Morgan setting up our reconstruction bank to steer public seed capital into rebuilding projects. What's public seed capital? Government seed capital often gets things going. It is usually in the form of grants, which are financial awards that do not require repayment. Where would the government get money to do that kind of thing? I mean, where does the government get all of its money? Oh yeah, from taxes. Who pays taxes? Individuals. So you're telling me that BlackRock and JP Morgan are setting up a bank to reconstruct Ukraine using tax money? Hold up. Oh, wait, it's all good, because that's going to attract hundreds of billions of dollars of private investment. The World Bank estimated in March that Ukraine would need $411 billion to rebuild after the war. Private investment would mean corporations and companies and businesses investing in that reconstruction. It's a good thing they're all going to be given so charitably to this reconstruction and not expecting any payment in return and not making any profits off of that. Because it'd be pretty up to live in a world where wars got started for corporate profit, and the same people that benefited from bombing these places were also benefiting from rebuilding these places. Man, it sure is good they got that public seed money to get all this business started. These poor kids need homes. I just thank the Lord every day for this courageous soul helping to rebuild the world. Bless his soul. It's just so peaceful to look at. Nah, for real though, I mean, thank goodness that State Street is the top owner of Lockheed Martin, because otherwise BlackRock and Vanguard would be at the top of that list. I mean, if BlackRock and Vanguard owned a whole bunch of, military contractors and stuff, then they would probably be profiting off of war as well. Gosh, it sure is great to live in America where our government's looking out for peace and prosperity of the world. I feel like I gotta get informed. I'm gonna go turn on some news and see what's going on. Hey, I wonder if they ever found that submarine.
He's funny! He's so sarcastic! Shout out to Gumbo.
Y'all, look at this. That's over Disneyland.
Oh, no way.
So first of all, it's chemtrails being sprayed over Disneyland. They trying to poison the people there. And two, it's an upside down pentagram. The upside down pentagram deals with reversal energy. This is a regular pentagram, and this is an upside down / inverted pentagram, which draws power from dark realms. And for them to be doing this over Disneyland speaks major volume. I'm sure we've all heard stories about what Disneyland is and what goes on behind the doors of Disneyland. This right here is casting a spell upon the people below. And they don't even know it. They probably just think this is a regular star. But no, there are spells being casted upon these people. And this is supposed to be a children's place. This is spiritual warfare thrown right in people's faces.
It's just a star.
The United States Navy knew that the folks that were on the Titan were dead. They've known since last Sunday. A U.S. Navy detected what was likely the Titan explosion on Sunday, according to an official. The U.S. Navy acoustic system detected an anomaly Sunday that was likely the Titan's fatal explosion, according to a senior military official. The Navy had gone back to analyze its acoustic data after the Titan submersible was reported missing last Sunday. The Navy passed on the information to the Coast Guard, which continued its search because the Navy did not consider the data to be definitive. They've known all week that them folks were dead. They didn't put this out earlier this week. They didn't put it out Sunday when they got the memo. They've known all week, but they decided to wait to announce it until JP Morgan Chase was fined by the SEC after mistakenly deleting 47 million emails. Because of those deleted emails, the report indicated that JP Morgan is now unable to comply with at least 12 civil securities related to regulatory probes to comply with subpoenas and document requests for communications because they've been permanently deleted. Furthermore, you should research the actual Titanic sinking and JP Morgan. You all were right. This was an orchestrated distraction.
You have to look into everything that is being pushed out. Focus. What the internet blows up, I promise you, there's something deeper behind it. There's something blowing up right now that you guys probably know what I'm talking about, but that's another story for another day. Maybe it might pop up on here when I get to down the list, in other words. But when something pops off, the internet's talking about it like crazy, the news, your social media accounts, just know it is something deeper behind that that's just used as a distraction to get your mind to go here while they doing things over here. Scary, scary, scary. Y'all, I love today's videos. I'm gonna need you to, why do you keep going on the focus? I love today's videos. I love the videos that you guys dropped. Again, I am about almost 2 months behind. That's why we're talking about the submarine barely. So I apologize in advance, but we are catching up. Thank you to you guys. Keep sending over videos. Again, the Discord is in the link in the description. I do appreciate and I love you guys. Eternal honors to my Lord Yahuwah, my Adonai Yahushua HaMashiach, for blessing me with everything. I'm to vessels out there working in and through, so I gotta give credit and honor where it is due. But y'all know me. Y'all have a blessed one. I'll see y'all in the next one. Shalom, shalom.
You can't bring me down. I know who I belong to. Yeah. What? I won't sell my soul. I know my worth.